Kids who are in schools today can't control the family structure that they're in, certainly, but we can influence how they think about the families that they form, which is why it seems to make sense that we should be teaching that if you finish your high school education, get a full-time job, and if you have children, if you marriage first, 97% of millennials who follow that avoid poverty. Seems like that would be a good idea. But I've actually tried to implement this in real classrooms in 8th grade in the Bronx, and massive, massive pushback. You can't teach that to these kids. You're imposing middle-class values. Well, yeah, I am. But no, you can't do that. These kids, their parents didn't follow the success sequence in their own lives. You'll be insulting them. You'll be offending them. Better that we don't teach them at all. And I had an experience where I visited a classroom in New Orleans, a 9th grade classroom when we were looking at high schools. And I said to this group of 9th graders at the time, because we were facing huge pushback in New York, I said to them, if you knew that there were a series of decisions in your control, that when kids just like you followed those series of decisions, 97% avoided poverty, would you want to know those decisions? And this group of 9th graders, almost all low income, said, well, yeah, why wouldn't I want to know? And I said, well, there are a bunch of grown-ups that think that I shouldn't tell you because you'll be offended, you'll be insulted, you may not be able to handle the information, so I'm not going to tell you. And of course, they looked at me like I was crazy. Let us decide how I want to process that information, right? Tell us, don't deprive. And so I then proceeded to have a conversation with these 9th graders about the success sequence, not in a prescriptive fashion, meaning that you must do this, but there are a series of decisions that have these likely outcomes, 97% avoidance of poverty, and then there are other series of decisions that have other likelihoods, but you're the architect of your own life. You get to be the decision maker. And what was interesting about that conversation was at the end, I felt that the students felt that they had been respected as future decision makers within their own lives.